on, everybody? It's Rockman3K3, and you're back for another wonderful episode of The Nerd Plate. Unfortunately, CDub couldn't make it today. He wanted to, but he had some things that came up. It was a little pressing, so, let my man work. Let him cook out here in these streets. But I brought someone else on the show. He agreed to come on. You might know him from such great things as The Black Box from back in the day. You might know him from such great podcasts. One of the best podcasts in the galaxies, other than ours, you know what I'm saying, from the great Gubmint Name. We have the one and only, the great, the awesome Shogun. Shogun, come on up in here, bro.
What up, man?
What is going on, man?
What's happening? What's good? I appreciate you bringing me back on. That was a lot of greats. So now I got to back up all the greats that you gave me. So it's like Tony the Tiger says, let's be great.
Man, it's so great to have you back on the show as always.
What's up?
You like the third, successor.
I be in the backgrounds, man.
I'll say to the Nerd Plate. We tell us tell us joking on us, supporting us too,
Most of the time it's too many cooks in the kitchen, so I stay out of the Nerd Plate. I just be there when the food gets served, I'm there. You know what I mean?
Man. We always appreciate you.
Oh boy. I don't know about you, man. I'm gonna ask you how your week has been, but it has been a tumultuous week in gaming, especially if you're on the green side, And
we gonna talk about it. we gonna talk about it.
Well, I'm just saying the reason I want to get on here and voice an opinion is because I feel like it's been a lot of attacks on that American console, and I'm a patriot, and I like to stand up for my country. And my products from my country. And I don't like all this slander that I see on the internet. Like all these other YouTubers out here talking all this jibber jabber. And I don't hear no facts. All I hear is opinions, but no facts.
Bruh. Oof, it's bad. It's dog pile. It's dog pile as usual online. That's the term nowadays. So
it is what it is, bro. But I mean, this gaming industry wouldn't be the same if it wasn't for that American green console. So we're gonna get through it. But I gotta ask you, how's your week been?
Oh man, it's just skip me on that. It's been a week, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to make it out here in these streets, trying to keep it afloat. My car died on me, so now no car, no job, but I'm still out here pressing it, man.
I'm praying for you.
I am embodying what Dr. Martin Luther King said. He said, walk, crawl, or fly to get there. But however you get there, just get there to the mountaintop. So
I think that was metaphorically speaking. You ain't mean physically.
Look, just go on in, man.
He was walking in them hard bottles, bro. I hope you got some sneakers or something, man. Hey man, let's start a GoFundMe or something.
I'm out here barefooted, son. I'm gonna get there.
Bro, if you're gonna be barefoot, at least take some feet pics and start your OnlyFans or something. Come on, bro. We can't have this.
Man, so yeah. But other than that, I'm good, man. I'm alive. As of this recording, my mom's birthday passed, so shout out to her.
Happy birthday.
Love Miss Rock, man. She is the greatest. And yeah, that's about it, man. How about you? How's your week going?
So as you were saying, I am the co-host of the Gubmint Name Podcast. That's GUBMINT NAME. I don't know if you can see. Are we recording screens?
We are recording.
Okay, well they see it on the screen right here. That's my podcast that I'm on. And we talk about a lot of current events. Our moniker is that we are the checks and balances of social commentary. So this week we're asked the question, I wonder how Usher is. So exactly. Normally you shouldn't have to ask that question. You wouldn't make that face, but he had a weekend. But my weekend was much better than Usher's. I'm out on the road working. As you can tell, I'm in a hotel. I don't have a house that's this clean. Excuse me. I didn't do anything.
Can I just say this? I will make this joke about Usher. He just got caught up.
Oh yeah, we was doing that on our podcast, man. I said this is gonna be one of them situations where he goes to court and he's gonna have some confessions in front of the judge,
Oh man.
I mean, the worst part about it was how you throw somebody else a birthday party and get beat up at the birthday party? Bro, I'm throwing you a party. But whatever.
That's you know what? That's some disrespectful shit. Only Chris.
It's
Brown.
very disrespectful.
And of course, it has to involve Chris Brown, Usher, and Tiana Taylor. I was like,
this ain't the verses we wanted. No, this is not the verses we wanted. Like he put some quarters in his back and just started whooping ass. Like what happened? Like all that goodwill that Chris Brown had built up is now gone. Like if anybody said, "Oh no, he didn't beat up Rihanna," he beat up Usher. Usher of all people. You ain't never heard Usher get in trouble unless he was like giving people STDs, but that's another story. You ain't never heard Usher get in trouble.
I remember when Usher was out here shooting toothpaste, but that's another story. We're gonna talk about
that. Man. Hey. But if you want to hear stories like that, you should check out my podcast. It's Gubmint Name Podcast. That's enough of me shilling.
Cannot wait, sir.
So, but yeah, I'm actually on the road right now, and I'm in a hotel room with pretty decent Wi-Fi. I brought my Xbox, and so my Xbox has been my only form of, well, I ain't gonna say only form. My Xbox has been my main form of entertainment. Game Pass right now is keeping me through these dark days of being on the road. But I log in, I can play all my games on my system, and on my tablet, I got Game Pass too. So if I'm out in the field somewhere, I can just log in and start playing. Right. So I mean, I'm in Huntsville, Alabama. They have really good Wi-Fi, 5G, and all that good stuff. So this is one of those cities that you can actually use some of the benefits of Game Pass. And I'm actually enjoying it. I'm not a big fan of mobile games, but I've been playing that Doom Mighty game. I don't know if you...
the little miniature.
Yeah. It's kind of like Vampire Survive.
Okay. And that was a good game. So
it's a really good game.
Yes.
But this game, it takes all the elements of Doom, where you got the weapons, the chainsaw, and Gatling guns, and the melee kills to get more health. It takes all that and squishes it down into like, I guess it would be a top-down, what is that, asymmetrical gunner shooter.
Yep.
Yeah. And so it's cool because it has controller support on the tablet. So I'm using it to move around, but it kind of gives me Geometry Wars vibes mixed with oh man, Vampire Survive. What's that? It's a roguelike. So you get little skills as you beat the stages and upgrade your guns. Like if you want like twin shooters, spread shoot.
So it's
more damage.
Dungeon, and then also it's this is going back to my old days, showing my age, but Total Carnage and Smash TV on Super.
You think I am? I got gray hairs right here, bro. What you talking about?
Every time got the receding hairline right here.
Oh, receding? Receding is not there. It's not existing. What are you talking about?
Bro,
I'm wearing hats.
Listen. I got. I'm gonna get my membership from you soon. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
man, game. You know what I'm saying?
That's all. Look, and it's turning gray, so it's like whatever, man. Bro,
I accept mine gracefully.
I ain't got no choice. But no, I'm playing Mighty Doom, and that's fun. I think we'll talk about Redfall. We played that together a couple of days ago, and just being on the road, man, it's cool seeing different sites, different cities, and seeing how other people are living. So,
okay, that's what's up. All right, well, we're gonna get into it. I don't have the question of the day or the question of the week,
man,
because good old CDub isn't here, but that'll be next week. But I'm gonna start with the first story. So,
all right,
and I'm gonna start first, and I'll let you start.
Yep.
Mr. Shogun. My first story is a huge elephant in the world, or in the room, I should say, or different rooms. More importantly, the writers' room. The writers' room is shutting down a lot of things. Blade just got shuttered again. I know, bro. I know. Gosh, what's the Stranger Things season 5, Severance, some of the Game of Thrones stuff, but not all. It's not a full shutdown for them. It's just slowing them down a little bit. And just a lot of other places, they've been reporting hey, we support the writer strikes, and we're gonna shut it down for a little bit. Shogun, how do you feel about that? I mean, aside from we all know pay them people, but
pay them folks.
Yeah, but how do you feel about what do you think is going on?
Actually, on my podcast, I promise I'm gonna stop shilling. I took your topic. You guys were talking about it before I brought it up on my podcast, and I really enjoyed your guys. Yeah, I enjoyed your conversation about it because you guys were really talking about, man, these writers, they deserve to get paid and they deserve this and that. And we love these stories that they're writing. And I had the complete opposite reaction. I said, fire these people. These stories that they've been coming up with have been trash. Trash. I'm talking about from the dumpsters behind the freaking Waffle House, like all types of trash in there.
Such a good
Dermot needles just sticking out of it. Fire them. And make them earn these paychecks.
Guys, I just want to let you know he started the exact same way on the segment. He was like, I love their segment. It was great. Them motherfuckers need to be fired. All the right.
Yeah, all of them. Fire them all.
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of all this.
It's been horrible. Okay. It hasn't all been horrible, but the quality of writing has taken a severe nosedive to me in recent years.
Absolutely.
I asked the question on my podcast and I was like, hey, what's the last new character that you're just like enthralled by these stories that they're writing? And it's kind of hard pressed to come up with a new character. The one that I came up with was John Wick. He doesn't have much of an actual story. It's a great movie. It's action packed. But where's these memorable characters? Those we got characters from the 80s, like the Goonies. The closest thing to that is going to be Stranger Things, but that was just an offshoot of the Goonies back then.
It's a more modern Goonies, basically.
What are those characters from that time, or not just that time frame, but just those characters with heart and endearing stories that can last decades? Like all we're getting now is remakes and remasters and just redone.
Safe bets, man. Safe bets.
And I get it. A24 is one of those studios that's taking the risk and taking chances. They're one of the few people who are actually making new, unique stories.
Yeah, shout out to Beef. Beef was
great.
Woo. Rough. It was good. Rough.
But there's not a lot of great writing that's going on. And I feel like it's mostly the studios. I can't sit here and say, hey, it's the writers. It's the studios. But the writers are definitely doing whatever they can to pass either some kind of political or, some kind of agenda. I'm not going to say political. They're pushing agendas through a lot of this medium. And people don't want that. They just want stories. Right. Good stories. And so I'm marching in solidarity for these people. I want them to get paid, but God damn, please bring the quality up.
Well, and I agree with you because I miss even having great stories like we had stuff like Eureka, which was really good on Sci-Fi. I love that.
It got canceled, didn't it?
Yeah, after it was promised to get like 2 more seasons.
Nah, we good.
So mean. Trade. Hold on. But yeah, like Eureka, man. Like you ain't like Eureka? It was
I liked it. That's the one about the house, right?
No, that was the one about the sheriff that's in the town full of inventors and scientific gadgets on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, I thought that was they had like this smart house and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he did. He had a smart house. Yeah, he lived in a bomb shelter. Yeah,
it was okay. It was not bad.
It was unique. It was tight. But I agree with you. I think everybody's so worried about clicking the check marks now that instead of telling an organic story, like what made like stuff like The Wire so organic and like Eureka, like I just said, and a few others that are really good is that they were just organic stories. They just had these characters that happened to be whatever, but it was more about character development and progression rather than just like, all right, checking the box. Here's the friendly this person. Here's the friendly that person of this particular coalition. Here's this. And okay, we have, like, and then you saw that a lot in like WB's like comic book series, like Flash checked off all the boxes all the time. Supergirl, and I love the Arrowverse. I think it's just too dramatic at times, but I finally got tired of watching it. But
you said that on one of the previous shows, and I was like, "That's comic books, man. What do you think it is? It's gonna be drama."
Yeah, but it was too much. Like it was like we gotta make him go in his feelings. It's like no. I just want him to fucking fight King Shark. That's all I want him to do. Like
but then if it was only action packed, then you'd be like, man, there's no story. There's no drama here.
I don't know. Look at Teen Titans. Teen Titans had plenty of both. It was a good balance of both. Well, Titans. I'm sorry. It was a balance of both.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's a show.
Yeah.
If out of that crop of shows, the best one is gonna be Stargirl. But Titans is good. It's gotten better, but it's just like I don't know what y'all doing.
They already ended it now, anyway. So
I mean, James Gunn is shutting it all down.
Reboot.
you can't really get mad at him. I mean, at this point,
but yeah, no, I feel you.
I mean, WB has done this to themselves. You know, they messed around. I mean, you guys joke about the Batman Superman movie all the time. They messed around in those stories, and they killed the franchise before it even got a chance to get off the ground.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And you have, on top of that, you have stuff like all these projects that are all over the place. Black Adam's a great example of that, which, you know, it was an okay movie, but The Rock had one plan, they had another, and nobody talked in between, you know. And
well, the problem I had with Black Adam was you get The Rock, who's a very charismatic action star, and you don't let him be The Rock. You let him be a bad guy who had hardly any speaking role and couldn't show his personality. Well, that's not entertaining. And the story, oh my God, they had this little kid in there that I just wish Black Adam would kill. But
you know, when they kept getting in trouble, yeah,
just a lightning bolt. Just pop his head off. Just make him a bad guy.
Yeah, it was. I was like, I get that in the comics eventually becomes this anti-hero and not so much a bad guy, but Black Adam is a bad guy. Like, you can't sit up here like, oh, he's a hero for this one country and don't come mess with this country just like Dr. Doom and Black Panther did it. No, like, he didn't care about them. He was like, nah, I care about getting Shazam and getting these powers. What's up? You know.
The Rock was like, okay, I want somebody who can rival Superman. Oh yeah, we got the perfect person, Black Adam. Yeah, all right, cool. So I get to fight Superman? No, you get to fight Shazam. Huh?
I want that. I want Superman.
And it was like, well, we're going to put Shazam in your movie. He's like, nah, I want to fight Superman. What? You're anyway. And that's why your franchise got canceled. And that's why they fired you. I mean, come on, Rob.
Yeah, that was a little crazy. But going back to like the writer's strike, do you think, because, you know, of course we were also around for like the other the previous writer's strike that messed up good. Well, Heroes was good before the writer's strike, and then they just went all over the place.
Yeah.
Do you think, I know this is going to have the kind of the same, if not worse, implications. Do you think it's going to be another case of that? Or do you think, because I mean, you know, a writer's strike always messes up something. So,
I mean, the potential for it to mess up the shows that are going on are there. Like, I can't sit here and say, hey, everything is going to be perfect when the writer's strike happens or when it's over with. But like the late night shows are shutting down, and I have an issue with that because maybe they're doing it in solidarity, right? Like Colbert show and Jimmy.
They have writers, but don't they also just kind of write their own stuff?
Well, they should just be able to write their own stuff. And I don't know if, like I said, it might be them shutting down in solidarity because they need their writers, or are they just trying to support the movement? But it's just like, if you're a comedian, which most of those people are not, right. If you're a comedian, you should be able to get up here and find the funny in every situation.
Right.
But I guess I mean, Hollywood's big, it's major, and you know, a lot of people work on these productions.
And cliquish, yeah.
Yeah, and I just feel like maybe I don't understand what they're really trying to do. I get it. I get the majority of it. You know, the writers deserve to get paid, but should the fans have to suffer because of this? But I guess that's the only way they can exert their power is like, hey, we really want to show these studios that we deserve to get paid.
Yeah. And I agree with you, because that's just like the conundrum you have with the Activision Blizzard problem and the Riot problem before Riot kind of, I guess, got better. Is like, how do you, like, if you want to protest, like, do you stop buying the work? But then that also punishes people who actually worked on the game,
right? Because
that kills any source of income they have for that, plus potential jobs. You know, so it's one of those catch-22s, and damned if you don't.
But you know, I think one of the issues they're having, they're like, we want to make sure we get a revenue split for the streaming. We want residual payment, and how would you calculate that? Because streaming is such a completely different beast than what cable was, that maybe they are getting just pay, but it's just from a new form of entertainment. Like, should they get a maybe 10 cents for every click on the show that, you know, they wrote or worked on? where it starts to pay. Like, I don't know how they would calculate value based on a stream. Like even.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, like, musicians are not even getting just pay based on what their work is, what they're putting in.
The only thing and you're right about that. And the only thing I can think of is maybe finding an average number and then putting that in. Like, for example, if you get, I don't know, if the show hits so many accolades, or if we have so many subscribers within the month that we launch your whatever, and it makes this much money, then I guess that should be the new contract. Like, okay, this is your writer stream contract pay, which is, all right, if we get on average this much per blah, then we give you like 200,000-300,000. Well, I don't know how they do that.
I understand that, but how would you have a baseline? Because you're gonna have more subscribers on Netflix than you're gonna have on like Paramount Plus. So if I'm a writer for Paramount, I'm incentivized to work for Netflix because the subscriber number is higher, so I'm gonna have a higher chance of making money over there. But what if they never click on my show because there's so much content that it just gets buried by all the other things? Like, I don't know how they're gonna work this out. Like, streaming revenue is hard to figure out. I mean, look at podcasts. Podcasts are getting shut down because of the writer's strike, because some of the writers who work on podcasts are part of these unions. There's no money in podcasting.
None. And the little bit that they used to have, like Anchor used to let anyone, as long as you you were a podcast and you were on Anchor and you advertised for them or anyone else, but specifically for them, you got paid. Now they went up to, you got to have 100 listeners. So now that eliminates most of us. You know what I'm saying? So unless I'm Joe Rogan out here in these streets, I'm not going to really make anything off of that. And even people like that, they have to have sponsorship, and they have to be so big on the platform. So yeah, you're right.
Well, I mean, I get it. The grind for small, podcasts like us, which I don't think we're small. I mean, we got more quality than we got listeners, so that's the good thing. But what we have to do, we have to monetize what we have already here. So the listener base that we build, we have to make that into some kind of revenue stream. But that's into a whole nother product, a whole nother, conversation. I don't want to charge people for the things that we do for fun. Like, this is a hobby to me.
Right.
But if they feel like they have or receive some type of value, they can always donate. And that's what I like about our podcast. We have that donation segment that we used to do where, if you enjoy what you heard, shoot us $1. You know what I mean? Like, it's no price on the thing. It's no price on the quality that we are, the value that you see or you got from our show. But if you want to give us something, you can give it to us.
Right.
Maybe that's what the writer's strike or the writers should do. It's like, hey, I used to work on this show. It got me this many views, and I have the accolades now. So if I'm going to write on another show, I got that on my resume. Maybe that should give you a bonus up front.
Right. I mean, either that or just some kind of like sign-on bonus or particular like working over bonus. Because that's the other problem too, is that when writers work long hours, they don't get paid for that specifically just because their salary.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, so that's one. And I see both sides of that, but I always think anybody should be paid, period, when they work. But I also understand that, like, because you can just be in there for hours trying to like kick shit like around like episode 1, you know what I'm saying? Just get it to flow, and you're just like, all right, cool, and that's 20 hours before you know it. So boom,
Well, at my job, I get paid hourly, and so if I wanted to, I could sit on the job all day and still get paid for it, and then I get overtime because I'm still not finished with the job. But at the same time, they have a metrics. They're like, hey, man, you didn't do this job within the time frame that we allowed you to do it. What's happening? And so they penalize me for taking more time on it. I'm sure the writers have something similar to it. But, I think the money in Hollywood is actually going away. And now they have to figure out a new, revenue stream. Because banks are failing, tech jobs are being shut down and forced out. I mean,
people being hunted down, and that's just like, you know.
I mean, we're going through some tough times right now, and I think this is just a reflection of the times that we're in.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree on that one, and yeah, I definitely see that, especially with the strikes, because you know, before this, the voice actors were like, "We're about to go on strike." You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm like, well, damn, like, is anybody happy in Hollywood right now? Like,
no, nobody's happy in Hollywood. The producers are not happy. The directors are not happy.
Definitely never happy.
I mean, the producers haven't been happy since Me Too. I'm sorry. That's probably not a good joke for your show.
Wow.
But I have to remember where I am. I gotta remember. We're at dinner. Where are my table manners? Nerd plate.
You're hilarious, sir. Yeah. But no, I'm with you. I don't know how they're gonna fix that, but I hope they fix it soon, because we don't. That's just gonna be so bad for a lot of shows. You know?
Drag it out.
Drag it out.
Drag it out. Bring these studios to their knees. I want them to beg for stories, because then I'm gonna get some of the craziest shit ever. Like, I watched that show on Netflix called Florida Man. That shit was great.
Dude, I've been trying to watch that because it has Coleman or Agent Coulson in it, and like some other people. I'm like,
and he's a true Florida man who's not from Florida. He's just like, I need a gun. I'm naked without my gun. And I'm like, yo, I love this show.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So, what's your first story, sir?
Oh yeah. So I don't know if you knew, but Nintendo kind of got a big game coming out this week. I mean, maybe not that big, but have you heard about this game called The Legend of Zelda? I think that's how you say it. Yeah, Zelda. Have you heard about that?
I have. I've heard such things. You know,
such things about it.
Big things.
So on Friday, the latest version of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, is gonna get released. I mean, they're actually having a live showcase just before the release.
I'm not gonna watch it, but
you're not gonna watch it.
I don't want anything spoiled, bro. I don't want anything. I'm like,
oh well, stay off of Twitter right now, because I don't know if you knew the game got leaked about a week ago.
And did you see the guy just disappeared? They don't know like where.
Yeah, the Nintendo ninjas got him. Doug Bowser ain't having this. Nigga, what?
My man said in the Twitter thing, like, I put the game up. It's just a game. What y'all gonna do to stop me? And literally the next minute, it was like,
delete it. Right?
It's like, that's Nintendo around here.
I don't know why people need to recognize, like, the mouse don't play and Nintendo don't either.
The mouse and the plumber always want their money.
Man, that plumber, oh my God. That plumber come through. You gonna need that freaking special star. Yeah.
That's it. Put my money in my head. Bro, I can't wait. I got mine reserved, of course. I'm just waiting on it to come out. It looks, from all from what everybody's been saying from the early reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to, like, because you're right, I've been staying off Twitter to like kind of avoid. I've been on it when I need to, but then just get off of it. But from what the early copy people have been saying, that can't release a review embargo yet, or can't release a review because of review embargoes, they're like,
right,
this is like the best game ever. Like, this is really good. Y'all gonna love it. But nobody can show images, or, well, you're not supposed to.
Well, I mean, you know how Nintendo is. They don't like you showing their games off anyway. Exactly. But they're going to show this game off on the 11th, the day before the game comes out. And I've seen a couple of videos, and it looks very interesting. Like, they have where you can make vehicles now.
Mm-hmm. You can make a mech. Did you see that?
I didn't see that. That's amazing. But I like where they're going. The creativity is definitely showing there. But there is some issues that I had with the original version. Well, the last Zelda game.
Okay.
Weapon degradation.
Mm-hmm.
I hated it. I didn't play through Zelda, but I don't like it that I have the Master Sword and it breaks. Or I know it doesn't break.
It needs to be recharged. You have to let it. What is it? I think 20 minutes. It's been a while since I played, but I think it's like 20 minutes.
It's called the Master Sword.
I know. Look.
What's masterful about this sword?
It's the sword of all swords. Okay,
it got a Tesla battery in it. What, it got to charge every other day? Like, what is this? Nigga, this is Slade Ganondorf in every other universe, but now I can't use it right now. I gotta swing and up. It's out of batteries. It's a sword. It's out of batteries. What am I gonna do?
Listen. Okay, you just gotta wait for it to recharge. And also, I blame the people who are just like, "Yo, Legend of Zelda's been easy my whole life. I can beat Legend of Zelda one hand behind my back." And Nintendo's like, "Bet y'all want that Dark Souls? We got you." And then, so I blame them.
Oh, he's climbing a pole. He's tired. Why is he tired?
And then on top of that, you can eat to get your tiredness down. But yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. So I saw it as part of the game. It didn't bother me when I was playing it. But
really, what would you like for them to change in the next Zelda game or in this one coming out?
So in terms of the weapons, they do have this new thing now to where you can do the whole like, okay, now we can you can combine weapons together. You can do different like.
Oh, I did see that. Mm-hmm. You can get like a stick and then put a rock on the end of it and whack people with the rock.
Yes.
I was like, that's kind of cool. I'm glad I ain't got to use a mop anymore.
Right. So, but you still could though. You can, because I don't know if you saw like you can get a rake and extend it out to where it's an extended spear. So
wow.
Yeah. So they've changed. I like how they changed that. I'm sure the degradation is still in there, but I do like how they changed that. I mean, that was, and that wasn't too, because again, you have so many weapons around after a while, you don't.
That's very true.
Matter. So, right. I honestly, it was perfect. I'm just waiting for the new skills to see like what they're gonna do. You know.
Yeah. Did you also hear that somebody emulated the 3DO version of Zelda to the Game Boy emulator on the website? You can play it on the website.
I did.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I don't know who did that. They need to be killed. Them CDI games were trash. Those are the only bad Zelda games in the history, and they're still worth like $500 a piece if you can find.
Zelda ain't talked since. I mean, Link ain't talked since. Link has been mute ever since then. They was like, "Shut up, never again."
So bad, and they only made. I think there was 3 games. There might have been 4. But there were 3 games that Nintendo did with CDI. They never did anymore. Which 2 Legend of Zelda games, because one of them you play as Zelda in this live action, horrible looking thing, and then of course the one you're talking about, and then the Mario Hotel, and that was it.
Yeah, like, Mario Hotel.
I was like,
yeah, we rented Mario Hotel when I was a kid. Golly, that's
so bad, right? Like,
it was the one where Mario was going through history.
Oh, that was another one that was bad. Mario's missing. It was Luigi going through it. Mario's Time Machine or Bowser's Time Machine.
It might have been Mario's Time Machine. It was like a Super Nintendo game.
Yeah,
that's the one we rented. That was like, nah, bro, this is not cool.
And then because they tried to do education, entertainment, it was terrible.
Yeah, don't be sneaking in this learning stuff in my game.
It was bad. It wasn't. It just make it fun. It wasn't even fun. It wasn't. Whereas Carmen San Diego fun, it was just ass. And then the other one they made to that is Mario's missing, where Bowser kidnaps Mario, but before Luigi can chase him, he has to go through all this historical shit.
Yeah, that might have been the one. It was like, what is this?
And then at the end, for real, like Bowser's running away Mario, and you can't even chase after him if you don't get all the clues. It was terrible.
Sorry, Luigi. Mario's in another castle.
Yeah. I love how they did that in the movie, by the way. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Yeah, that movie was great. I was at my girlfriend's house yesterday, and we was watching some bootleg movies. Nice. I started Guardians of the Galaxy, but she, it was in Spanish and it had subtitles, and she was like, I don't want to hear this. But we was about to watch Mario again, but I can wait till that come back out. I'm gonna buy that when it comes out.
I am totally buying that on Blu-ray.
Mario was great.
It was phenomenal.
Was that your story or mine?
That was your story. So you ready?
That was yours. That was your story. No, I did the Zelda. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Are you ready for my?
Yes, sir. Let's see what you got.
All right, so second one is you know what? I'm gonna swap this around because this is actually up your alley. I don't know if you heard about this, but the Google Pixel
All right, let's see.
tablet, sir. The Google Pixel tablet. Have you heard about it? Do you think it's gonna be the competitor to iPad they're trying to make it?
No. Next topic. What are you doing? No. Well, Google has an actual Pixel like tablet that they're supposed to be coming out. I think it either this year. They announced it last year. It hadn't come out yet. Foldable phones is a fad. The operating system works, but it's not really a focus.
Can I say this right now? Please, anybody who is interested in foldable phones, please don't. Please stop. Like, as a person who had to sell them and work on them, it's not worth your time. Please stop getting those. Please. I'm telling you now. Shits are terrible.
I also don't think it's worth your time. But my brother is one of those tech geeks like myself, and he has a foldable phone. And it's great. But it's basically two phones smashed together. And I don't know about you.
Every time.
I do have a Pixel. This is a Pixel 6. I didn't get the newest Pixel, but I love my Pixel. It's great. Mm-hmm. Battery life usually runs all day. But if I had two of these, actually, I do have two phones. If I had these two phones, I smashed them together, and then I'm putting this in my pocket. I gotta wear cargo pants everywhere just to have this crap in my pocket. I don't want two phones on me at all. I mean, I do it for work, but I don't want two phones in my pocket. I don't think there's a use case. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and people don't have the right protective case for them, nor do they have like the right equipment to keep them, like,
But yeah, that's the other thing. If you have a foldable phone that opens like a book, at one point, either the hinge is going to be exposed right here, or either the screens. What if you close it and there's a rock in between and then boom? I don't know who hangs out with rocks, but I'm just saying, like, the chances of you breaking these phones are a little bit higher because there's more parts that could go wrong. I think this just a single screen phone is more practical. Now, if it folded like the old Razors do, like, they remade the Razor.
Yes.
Yeah. If it folded like that, maybe, but you still have that same problem. There's a hinge in the middle, and what's going to happen then? So I'm not a big fan of them. How do you feel about the Pixels?
I like the Pixel. I'm with you. I like the Pixel phones. I don't think this is the wave for like the Pixel tablet. Just because, like, especially if they're going to go up against iPad. I'm not even an Apple fanatic, but iPads are very sturdy, and they actually do a lot. Especially if you have the Pros. Those are really awesome. So, like, unless they're going to do anything close to that, I mean, what are you really doing?
The thing about iPads is the versatility. It's a portable computer that I can just turn on. Everything's available right then and there. Like, it gets the tech out of the way. You're just using the phone. And that's what Apple does so well. Like, they support their stuff. They have a use case scenario for every iteration of one of their phones or tablets. There's really not a need for a Pixel, a Google-based tablet, because they're not really doing anything different with Android. Android kind of feels stagnant at this point because of this stagnation of them breaking it down. Samsung's doing their own thing with Android. Google's doing their own thing with Android, and all the other carriers are doing their own level of, customization on top of that. So I don't know if they can fix the fragmentation. That's the actual word I was looking for. I don't know if they can fix the fragmentation of having all these different versions of Android, but most people are either fine with just a phone or a laptop or a tablet. And if they're going to get a tablet, it's going to be an iPad.
Right. Because like you said, the versatility is definitely there.
Well, that App Store, you can't beat that App Store, man.
No, very easy to get into, very versatile, and they have that grip, that chokehold on it.
Yeah, man. Ecosystem. That's going to be the key phrase in a little bit.
The key phrase.
So, speaking of domination, PlayStation is the king of the hardcore games right now, I guess. Nintendo is the king of games, right? You can't beat the Switch. Like, everybody's got one. Turn around, there's a Switch in the house. But PlayStation is definitely the market leader. What was that?
Oh no, sorry, you can't see it, but
Yeah, no. Oh, you got a switch right there. Ain't it funny? Your mom used to tell you, go out there and get me a switch. Now you tell your mom, go out there and get my switch. But PlayStation is the market leader, and you know, they're kind of having some rough times right now. People are questioning, hey, Sony, the only thing you got coming out this year is Spider-Man. What do we have coming later? And what can I be playing on my PlayStation 5? And it's been silent. Sony hasn't had a game show in a little while, probably about a year. They've been doing these little direct type shows where they show off games like Horizon. Hooray! Do you like Horizon?
It's okay. It would be, you know what they gotta stop doing? They have to stop
making them.
It. Well, damn. No, they gotta stop releasing it during the time of hot games. Like the first time.
Oh yeah, because those blockbusters that PlayStation release are so great that they're getting overshadowed by other games. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, like for example, when Horizon Zero Dawn came out, guess what it ran up against? Which I was like, that's the stupidest idea possible.
But I don't know when
it went up against the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I was just like, why would you put that out the same time as that? And it just overshadowed.
Well, it was like, man, ain't nobody gonna play that game. Oh shit.
That's true. That is true. That is also what it was like. So they learned their lesson on that. But then even
no, they didn't.
Well, yeah, I say that, but because then what? Horizon Zero Dawn comes out the same, like, or is it Burning Shores? Whatever. The new one.
That's the DLC.
Forbidden West. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Forbidden West comes out, and it's again overshadowed by whatever else is out right now, which I think is Elden Ring or something.
I think it was Elden Ring. I keep feeling like it's Elden Ring.
Put that out. Why would you just wait? You know what I'm saying? Like, just okay. We're gonna wait a minute before we put this out. But Sony being Sony, you know.
Sony being Sony, but you know, Sony being Sony, and not to leave their fans high and dry like other systems have been doing. They actually have games on the horizon. That's a pun and play on words. According to insider and leaker of video game content information, Jeff Grubb, he says that the PlayStation is probably gonna have a showcase on May the 25th. And most likely the announcement will come out next week. So, you want to play a game of prediction? What do you think Sony might announce to have coming out for the PlayStation 5?
Well,
what could they show?
Well, that's the thing, because like they've already showed their hand, basically. Like, if we look at, well, I mean, the only thing I can think of is the Silent Hills. But
that's actually what's rumored to be there. They're actually saying that Sony has a partnership with Konami to have 3 exclusive games. I don't know if it's timed or not, but they're going to have a Silent Hill, a Metal Gear Solid remake. I can't remember which one. And then what's the other? Silent Hill. Yeah, Castlevania. Thank you. I couldn't remember the game. But those 3 games are supposed to be coming out for the PlayStation, exclusive.
So, and see, the Silent Hill's not even new because they talked about that a while ago. Because
Blooper Team,
right? They're going to remake Silent Hill 2, which we all knew about that, but that is exclusive to PlayStation, so it is exclusive. But they
supposedly rumored, maybe.
Right, rumored. But there's 2 other Silent Hills that's exclusive to the system that is supposed to be a new Silent Hill. Plus the other one it's not exclusive. It is it's an online multiplayer, which is gonna be weird as hell for Silent Hill. But it's supposed to be on all systems, including Android and Apple. So I don't know how that's gonna work or what that is exactly.
Yeah.
But they've already shown off because so far we know for the year, which, like you said, well, Final Fantasy 16 I know is a strong exclusive. Street Fighter 6, I don't know if Capcom signed that as a time.
No, it's not exclusive at all. It's on Xbox.
It's going to come to so that's going to come to Xbox and PC. We know that already. And then other than that, you got Spider-Man 2. You have Wolverine that may not come out this year.
Wolverine is definitely not coming out this year.
Like I'm calling 2024 or 25 on that one.
Why would they release Spider-Man and Wolverine the same year? That's stupid. Now, if they do clip this part and make me look like a fool,
I'm not going to come on, man. I
No, do it. No, do it for the numbers.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Exactly. R. Kelly said it best.
Use your common. Oh,
somebody that listened to himself.
Oh God. Oh, but I really can't, because the only other thing I can see is Metal Gear Solid 3, the remake.
What? 3?
Well, okay, so they took down the HD remakes and the Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 HDs that were on like PlayStation 4, or I think PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4. They took those down because Konami figured they were going to remake those and repackage them again. Because they didn't want to pay Hideo Kojima, because that's still a mess.
Well, if they own the franchise, why do they still have to pay that dude?
They co-own it. His name is supposed to be on it. He's supposed to own 50% of it. They own 50% of it.
It's like Bob King. Anytime they do a Batman thing, they like, hey, created by Bob King.
And Bill Finger now that Bill Finger finally got the rights.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's a whole little documentary on it.
Well, good. I'm glad he's getting paid. Pay the writers.
Yeah, hey man, pay the writers, pay the people.
Pay the people.
But yeah, that's the only one I can really see. Castlevania, unless they are going to retool that completely, or go get the guy who I forgot his name, Iga something. He's now doing Bloodstained, and now he's doing fucking basically the successor to Suikoden, but it's called Eudalon Chronicles. Unless they're gonna go get him again, they can't do Castlevania, so they're probably gonna do a remake of that, or like 1, 2, and 3, or do like a collection. But like, I don't see that happening. Because
real quick, this is just for the people watching the YouTube episode. Over your left shoulder is a bald-headed portrait of a person. Is that you?
It is me. Yes. It
Can you get that and bring it to the camera?
Oh,
or is it stuck to the wall?
No, hold on. Let me get it.
What in the world? What is that? Who made that for you? That's amazing.
So this was actually given to me by an ex a long time ago.
Never mind. Cut this whole segment. we don't speak up those beasts. They're exes because they crossed the line. Leave them alone. Jesus.
Yeah,
that's cool. I like it. That's dope. I've been sitting there looking. I even zoomed in on my side. I was like, "What is that?" It was like a CIS episode. Zoom and enhance.
Enhance.
Yeah. But Silent Hill and Castlevania.
Konami doesn't have it anymore, because the guy who's the president of them now, he wants to just focus on pachinko machines and mobile games, because he's like, we can't make money with AAA titles, which is funny because when he said it was doing well, but now it's like, damn, maybe he's right. But he's like, we can't make money in that no more. So.
It's funny how a lot of these execs are saying some of the same thing about not being able to make money off of video games.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, unless they're gonna bring back Contra, which that needs to happen, because that last Contra was ass.
But if they do bring it back, how do you want it? You want it a 2D side-scrolling action adventure game, or a 3D top-down asymmetrical?
Make it one of those like 2D on a 3D plane shits or something.
Let's make Gears of War in Contra.
Oh, no,
like a cover-based shooter. That would be kind of cool. Yeah,
I'd fucks with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then make it over the top like Army of Two.
But better. You know what I'm saying? You can actually play it single player, not need a partner.
Well, no, Country, you always need a partner. Why would you play that game by yourself?
I did. I beat that once when I was a kid.
You had a Game Genie?
Nah, man. I did.
You a lie. You a lie. I'm gonna call you a lie to your face.
With the code, and then I did it without the code.
Okay. Yeah. You ain't do it without the code.
I did it took me forever, but I did it without the code.
You ain't do it. That's why it took you forever. You ain't.
Look, I only beat on normal though. I couldn't do hard because
game is too. You can't beat the first stage without dying,
bruh. If you beat it on hard, you're supposed to get the real ending, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I beat on normal. That's my claim to fame. That's it. That's like trying to beat Ninja Gaiden very hard. No, I'm not doing it.
It's impossible. I spent summers trying to beat Ninja Gaiden. You can't do it. I am 37 years old and I've never beat Mike Tyson Punch Out. People say that you can do it. once.
You gotta watch his tails, man. But I'll never do it again. I can't even. I tried playing Punch Out again. I can't get past. I can barely pass Soda Popinski now.
Yeah, Soda Pop. You just duck and then hit him. You know,
yeah,
you gotta hit him in that diamond.
That reaction, man. But when I got to Mike Tyson, so
Mike
when you
Tyson
get Mike
Tyson,
Mike Tyson, yeah, dude, he's all tails. So like, you can only get in like 4 punches around. But you basically have to like wait for him to wink, and when he winks, that's like when you hit him. After that, though, you gotta just block a move because if you don't, knock you out.
Was it Ball Bull? I never realized Ball Bull had a tail. Like when he's charging down at the end to hit that uppercut, that you just hit him in the stomach.
Yeah, and he'll go down. Yeah.
Bro, I did not know that. Again,
it took me 2 years to figure that out, bro. 2 years.
Yeah, we didn't have Reddit back in our day.
No, we did. We had Nintendo Power, baby. Maybe that was.
I had to wait a whole month. Let me read this Star Fox comic book.
Man, you called the 1-800 number like, hey, I can't get past this part.
My mom wouldn't let me pay them toll-free numbers.
I know. I did it once over my cousin's house. I was like, that's it. No.
We tried one time, called that helpline. It's like, man, don't get my ass will help me. Man.
Yo,
I'm gonna add a stupid little story. Growing up as a kid in the 80s, we would go out to eat with our families and whatnot. And one time we went out to eat and my dad got the check. You know, he was gonna leave the lady a tip. And my brother's like, "Oh, I got you a tip. It's up, up, down, down, left, right, AB, select, start." It's like, hey man, he thought it was very useful. You know, it was life saving.
He was trying to get that waitress or waiter.
Man, what
out here?
Yeah, man. Hey man, you gotta eat. Yeah, man, that was awesome.
That's crazy.
Speaking of awesome, I try to be a segue king. So gaming is a very popular thing. It just recently eclipsed all the movies and TV and all that. It's making more revenue. And so that brings more competition into it because everybody wants a slice of this pie.
Yes.
Right? And so Activision, the CEO, Bobby Kotick, he believes that Amazon Luna is now the largest cloud gaming service in the world. They have virtually 200 million subscribers to Amazon Prime, which means they have access to Amazon Luna. How you feel about that?
Shogun, let me ask you this. This wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that Kotick wants that deal to go through and that he's trying to like direct everybody. Look at them over there. Don't look over here. We're trying to get this money over here.
So they got 200 million people with their cloud service. Let alone, I know nobody's logged in and played it, but they now have Fortnite over there. You gonna stop us from being able to be acquired by Microsoft?
Shogun, let me say this. Bobby Kotick is out there. He's doing exactly what Chris Red said in his special. He just being passive aggressive on the corner. Wow, I guess y'all just sell drugs anywhere. Wow.
I mean,
check your email, bitch.
I mean, they get $3 billion. Yeah, $3 billion if Microsoft can't buy them. But if they do get bought, they get 69. I mean, quick napkin math. If I take this napkin right here and write down on it, it's gonna be let's see. If I get 3 billion versus 69, it's gonna be a whole lot of money. Nigga, I don't need this shit. I'm trying to get bought.
So good.
Yeah, the competition over there, they got 200 million people.
So good. Why you man called the ball thread in on the Special Olympics? Why you doing that? Why?
I'm just saying. I just want to see if they faking or not. So if they get up out that wheelchair, then
bro. So. He is. Let me tell y'all something. Bobby Kotick is already trash, but the dude is not stupid. He knows that he's going he knows that there's an ounce of chance that they can get bought. You're going to see him campaign for Microsoft for so hard for the next 4 or 5 years exactly. And then when they don't get bought, it's gonna be like, okay. But you're gonna go hard for this.
Phil Spencer said in his interview last week that they got 9 out of the 14 regulators to say, or whatever, 9 out of the 14 places that need to approve this deal to happen. So they still feel very confident that it might happen. I just don't know.
Well, so this is how I feel about that situation. It could still go either way, but also, with these regulators, especially with the FTC and a lot of the other countries, it's a domino effect. If one is very adamant about not surpassing or not passing the law, then the rest of them are going to follow suit just because it is a kind of all or nothing situation with them. Because one doesn't want to look weak or stronger than the other. So we have that to look forward to, which that's going to be crazy. But with him, I just find it hilarious that Bobby Kotick is really pushing for this to get just unequivocally just get passed because he, like you said, he wants that money. He knows his days there are numbered, but he knows at least with Microsoft, he can land on a very golden parachute because he's already looking at $800 million.
Yeah, he's going to get fired regardless.
Yeah, he's going to get fired regardless. $800 million versus probably a few billies with Microsoft though. He pushing for that.
Yeah.
So I just find it funny that he hating from outside the club.
Is he hating in the club? He just like, hey man, look at them. Check them out over there with a $200 million, 200 million subscribers.
See the guy from Belly?
I don't like that shit. I have to drop it. And he dropped the dime on him.
So that's what I'm gonna ask. How do you feel about that deal as a Microsoft fan? How do you feel about it? Do you think it's something they need, or how do you feel?
Okay, when you say need, who are you talking about?
You know what? That's fair. Microsoft doesn't need it. I should rephrase.
No, Microsoft needs it. As a proud member of the Xbox Defense Force, Microsoft needs every little help they can get. They need support studios. They need studios. They need art directors. They need manpower. Have you not seen their recent games coming out? They need everything they can get.
Wait a minute, Shogun, tell them to put me on. Tell them to buy Red Dreams.
They don't need all that. They don't need all that. What they need is proven game directors and game designers. I'm just saying. I respect you, but I feel like what you will release might not be of the caliber of Redfall, and I'm kind of worried about that.
Wow. All right, you know what? But my last story. Let's go ahead and get into it.
I'm just saying the caliber of Redfall is such a triple A. It's triple A. Triple A as in ass.
Okay, so we gotta get into that because it's not quite as bad as everyone says. And I got into it, and my review of it is coming up soon because I did a more in-depth thing of it.
Okay,
but I'm gonna ask how you feel about it. Shogun, so first off, how do you feel? I guess how do you feel about Redfall and Phil Spencer? If you can do that in one go.
Okay, I like Phil Spencer. I think he's changing the industry for the better. Mm-hmm. Now, how I feel about Redfall.
That's
what did I say?
Right? That's $70.
When we were playing the game, I was like, "Is that water?" If I have to question if that's water on the game, you done messed up somewhere. So
only on Xbox Series X though, man. Only on Xbox.
I mean,
it can only be played on the Xbox.
No.
I'm gonna do what Jim Ryan did with Sony. Remember we used to do that with PlayStation 3? It can only be played on a PlayStation.
But would you want to? That's the question. Now, again, I am the Xbox Defense Force. Yes. So I will say Redfall is not as bad as people are making out to seem. This is a lot of media bias. You see them just jumping on it because it gets all the clicks. It gets all that the interaction, the traction, and whatever else you can get for having a salacious video.
Yes.
But when you play the game, it ain't that good. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Who was actually hyped about Redfall? I never saw the hype.
You know what? I was just like, and I didn't even my hype then. It wasn't like a lot, but I was just like,
wow, I think hype is overhyped. There's not hype. I was intrigued, but I wasn't hyped.
Intrigued, but even my intrigue was still met with disappointment. Like,
it didn't look good. It never looked good.
Like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed because it's like, what?
Yeah, I sound like a parent. I sound like a parent when you bring home all D's. It's like, I ain't even mad. I'm just disappointed because I know you can do better.
You could pass recess?
How you get a D at recess? Would you lay down in the middle of the playground?
You can't jump right now. See, you just did it. That's an A right there. What you do? What?
So honestly, Redfall was not as bad as I was thinking it was going to be. We played it. We got on. Graphics suck. Graphics are trash. Woo! Graphics are horrible. Now, when I played it, I was streaming it the first time.
Hold on. And that's what I want to ask you. Okay, so when you didn't stream it, let me ask you this. Can you give me an excuse of why that couldn't have been on Xbox One? Or why? No. Oh. Even better, why they were complaining that the Xbox Series S was holding that back. Because there's okay. A bunch of developers are saying that's why they're having so much trouble putting out games.
Yeah, but they didn't design Redfall. Redfall ain't holding shit back, but Microsoft Metacritic scores.
Oh no.
That's the only thing is holding back.
Hold on, let me cook.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm sorry, I'm part of the Xbox Defense Force. Redfall is a great game, and it exemplifies why you shouldn't have $70 games and you should have services like Game Pass. Is that better?
Yes, but like, let me ask you that. Do you feel like, because they've said that before, do you feel like they can't make games up to, because this is not this is not what Series X is capable of.
Who are you saying can't make games?
No. I'm saying, like, do you feel like that's true for the developers?
Do I feel like the Series S is holding back game development?
Right. I guess that's the best.
No, because the minimal specs of most, like the PC system. Okay, I'm a gaming nerd, so the PC has a vast variety of minimum requirements. Right. The minimum requirements for most games that are out today on the Xbox Series systems. Mm-hmm. The Series systems is stronger than the minimum spec PC that you can just run these games bare balls. Right. Okay. Right. The Series S is stronger than that. Right. So you should be able to run these games without any hiccups. What a lot of people are saying is that the GPU of the Series S, since it's so much weaker than the other systems, is that the some of the processing that it's supposed to be able to do is just going to be limited. But what we are finding out with games like Forza and games that spent more time developing for that system is not really that the overall system is weak. It's just the way you have to develop for that game is completely different from what developers are used to. So if you compare like the PlayStation system and the Xbox has a brand new architect. It's completely different. Nobody's done this before. Microsoft reinventing the wheel with this system. Right. If you look at the PlayStation 4 going to the PlayStation 5, PlayStation didn't reinvent the way they developed their games. They just gave their developers more power, more tools to work with, and they said, hey, have a good day. So it's easier to develop for the PlayStation because they've been doing it for the last 6 years. Right. On the Xbox, people are having to relearn how to code and develop for this system. And that's why you're seeing a system technically stronger on paper than the PlayStation. That's why you're seeing games more, I guess it's not really higher quality, but they've spent more time. Like they're comfortable with those tools to develop for. So it's got a better polish than the Xbox system. But what's confusing is this Xboxes should be able to just brute force and make these games run a lot better than what they are. Most of the time, the Xbox system is running at a higher resolution than the PlayStation. But recently, this whole year, most of the games are neck to neck. They're running at the same resolution and they're running worse on the Xbox systems. Right. So personally, I don't think there's an issue with the development of these games on the Xbox or the Series S holding it back. Mm-hmm. I think it's just developers are having a really hard time developing games. And they need, like, all games need to either be delayed another year. And what's happening is the rabid fan base is not allowing these developers or maybe the studios are not being given enough time to develop for it. And they're being rushed to push these games out.
Right. Because, I always talk about it all the time on the show. I think both the Series XS and the PlayStation 5 were rushed out in terms of their initial launch. And I get that.
Well, the X for sure. The X was rushed out. The PlayStation, they said, was rumored to be coming out in 2019. So it was actually delayed and right on time. So they've had longer with that system already being ready to go. But I think what happened was once they realized that the Xbox was going to be a little bit stronger, they were like, oh, we got to do something. And they overclocked the PlayStation system and kind of cranked out some more juice. And that's why you see it has the fluctuating rates. You know, it's 9 teraflops, I think, in total power, but it's not sustained. The Xbox is 12 teraflops sustained power. Right. But it doesn't matter at this time because the developers are not actually using these freaking games or the development. Yeah.
So my other question for you is, we talked about the coalition before a while back. Mm-hmm. And I guess it's called the Initiative, right? With all the gaming studios that Microsoft has and the Microsoft studios. Anyway, it's called some kind of name. But how? No,
I think what you're talking about is that quadruple A studio that they were going to have to make Perfect Dark. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think so. But I know they called at one time at one conference they called all the different studios they had, like Compulsion Games, all these other mofos they brought together, and they were like, "Yo,
that's just Xbox Game Studios."
Okay, cool. Okay, so with all those studios on the Xbox or the Microsoft Studios, what do you think is the problem? Like, and why they're not?
Why are these games coming out?
What are my games?
Yeah. Well, honestly, this is one of those situations where I think what happened is, and this is going to be me being full Xbox Defense Force, is the games are just not ready. And there's nothing you can do. You can try to rush these games to come out. They're just not going to happen. Most of these games were announced in 2019 when they were still concepts. Like, we didn't even see gameplay. We saw trailers, CG trailers at that. Yep. And some games have been in development hell. You could look at, what's that Wizard game from Rare or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. That's definitely never coming out. But yeah.
See how it's forgotten about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I forgot, but I remember that. Fable was in
Fable.
Perfect Dark. They just switched up the whole team again.
Well, yes and no. They've had, of course, every game has drama behind the scenes. So the directors of those games, I think they've changed out several times, and they got not Quantic Dreams. What's the one that helped them make the studio, the Tomb Raider team? Quantum something? No.
Quantum.
It's not Quantum. Anyway, the team that develops Tomb Raider is now helping their co-development. Yeah, Crystal Dynamics. That's it. Yeah. They're co-developing the Perfect Dark game. But the average development time of a video game is about 4 to 5 years.
2 to 4. 4 to 5.
Right. Yeah. But Redfall was in development for like 5 years, and it just clearly it needed more time. I'm not really sure what they were trying to do. Maybe they had a different ideal for that game, and then it changed over the years, but it shouldn't have been pushed out. It should have been delayed. But I don't think there's a problem per se at Xbox. I think there's a problem with perception at Xbox. Like, all you're seeing is negative news right now when they've had years of producing the greatest but great games. Like, the average review score has been an 80 and up, and Redfall and Halo have been the 2 disappointing games. But like I said to you, was if you look at the overall landscape of video games, we've had a lot of stinkers in the last couple years.
Yeah.
I got a list.
Okay.
You remember that? Well, we can look at Star Wars, the new one that just came out.
Yeah.
It's got problems, right? It's got performance issues. They say the story's good and the gameplay is fun, but just performance issue. Right. Fallout 76, performance issues. Calypso Protocol, performance issues. Strange Paradise Final Fantasy Origins. What? Fuck Why did you make that face? Whoa, why did you make the face?
That game is horrible. Fuck that game.
Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
Why you make the face?
You hate to see
Why?
it.
You hate to see it? I really enjoyed that game. I think that game had the best fighting system out of all the Batman series.
I think if they would have marketed it differently, it would have been good. But yeah, I agree.
I think it did a lot of things that I like. It had every night was a different night that you go out on the city and go on patrol. And that was cool because it made you feel more like, hey, I'm actually Batman. I'm going on patrol tonight to see what's happening. And then they changed from there. It shouldn't have been one of those looter type shooters, but whatever. No. Vampire Masquerade Sword Song. So, yeah, you know the game.
Swan Song.
Yeah, I could say it. Scorn. Remember that game?
That's weird.
Sonic Frontier.
That was good. I don't know why people hate on that. It was a good game.
It had performance issues when it first came out.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Yes.
Gungrave.
Hey, y'all gonna leave Gungrave alone. Gungrave was amazing. It's still amazing.
Did it not have performance issues when it came out?
Not for me, but I played on my Xbox.
For me. For me.
Not for me. I played on Xbox One.
It didn't crash for me. It was a good person. Okay. DBZ Breakers.
Oh, that was just trash.
Okay. Crossfire X.
Also trash.
Yeah. Babylon's Fall.
Next one.
Okay. Battlefield 2042.
Oh, yeah.
I got to put an asterisk on this one because
it's better, but oh man,
I paid $100 for the Whiz Bang Great Edition, and I forced myself to play this freaking game for the last 2 years to get every ounce of enjoyment out of it. It has gotten considerably better, but it was not worth the $100 that I paid for it.
No.
I paid for it. GTA Remake, all of them. Yeah. You remember when they used the AI to produce this game? Yeah.
No, never again. Please.
Balan Wonderworld.
Oh, that was just trash. That was a bad acid trip from the Knights creator, no less. Terrible game. Terrible game.
eFootball 2022. I don't know if you know anything about that. Yeah, it's cool. Werewolf Apocalypse of Earthblood.
Which one?
Yep. Werewolf. That game. It was a werewolf game that came out. You played as a werewolf.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Those trash. Go ahead.
Godfall.
Yeah, that was also trash. I'm not even gonna hold you. I got that when it was on sale, and I was just like, all right, this game is. Yeah, I'm done. I played that for like 2 minutes. No. Cyberpunk.
One of the greatest studios in the history of gaming released one of the worst games out there.
I could say it's getting better, but yeah, it was not.
It's much better now.
It was not.
It's worth playing now. And I played through it. I had a great time with it. But it wasn't ready. It should have been delayed. Batman Arkham City. It was trash on PC when it first came out.
Okay, I was about to say it was a good game, but yeah, PC.
I'm gonna sneak this one in because I feel like you know about it. But Drake of the 99 Dragons.
Oh, dude! You had to do that to them. He had to do that to Microsoft. All right. That was when they were trying to find themselves on regular Xbox.
They still trying to find themselves. What are you talking about? They about to find themselves in the unemployment line. I'm just saying, those are a list of games, some of the best studios that we know of, AAA, quadruple A, double A, all these different titles. And it seems to be that all of these games just needed more time.
You missed one.
What's that?
Advent Rising on Xbox.
Oh, man. I was trying to go for more recent, but yeah, that game was, whew. Did anybody get that money?
No, dude, they screwed us so hard. I beat that game, and I was like,
they screwed you. I didn't buy that.
Goddamn.
I looked at the box. I was like, this looks like Mass Effect before Mass Effect. Nah, I'm gonna put this back.
Why did everybody like Ben Affleck? And you know what? It's cool. It's whatever.
I mean, really. What's his name? Vin Diesel's game. His studio was good.
Yeah. Well, no, is it Tibrion? Was it
Chronicles of Riddick?
Yeah. That was a good one. But yeah, that Advent Rising. And they had plans on making a sequel to that on PSP. It was gonna have another sequel on the PS2.
Yeah. Plans. They had planned to, and that shit crashed and burned.
Yo, if you hear Tellerico, this is your fault. Fuck you.
Ain't he trying to get that Intellivision system to come out?
Oh God, he's the worst. He's the worst, dude.
Some Tellerico was cool, man. I can't let you call him the worst. Now, is he a snake oil salesman? Maybe.
Yes. He's like, Evan Ross is gonna be great. It's gonna be the greatest thing you ever played in your life. So no, man.
But what I'm saying is, what we see now is that with an extra year of time and development, a lot of those games that I listed off actually improved over the time from when they were released. Battlefield is one of my favorite games. I still play it today. And it's been 2 years since it came out. And now it's finally getting the squad commands that it should have came out with. You know, you can't switch squads. Like, they just add voice chat into the game the other day. And now it's like, oh, wow, I can talk to my teammates.
That's so sad.
Yeah. But all these games needed a little bit more time to cook to make them a better game. And now that, you know, they've released broken and then they fixed them. I'm sorry. And then they fixed them. I mean,
No Man's Sky was another one that
No Man's Sky was notorious. It was horrible when it first came out. And they fixed it.
And it didn't really get fixed until late in the cycle to now, you know.
You know who actually is trying to fix their game? The latest Saints Row. They're like, please give us more time. We're going to fix this game and make it something that you really will appreciate. Give us one more chance.
I don't know, man.
So I say all that to say Redfall was not as bad as I was expecting it to be, but it was still a disappointment. When we played it, we found some fun. We had fun playing it online. It was cool. You spotted out people. I shoot them. Boom, boom. They're dead. You shot them. You gave me health. We revived each other. It worked. It technically worked, but it just looked terrible. It looked like they took the easiest copy and paste lazy bullshit and just slopped it out there. And then for them to say, give us $70 for this bullshit, you're spitting in my face, Microsoft. And you're expecting me to enjoy this. I am your Xbox Defense Force. And I'm like, hey, bro, nah, you did wrong. You did wrong. You shouldn't have put this out there. And then for, you know, Big Phil Spencer to come out and say, hey, I take this. I did it. It was my fault. Blame me for it. He took it on the chin. And people are like, all right, Phil, you need to be fired. I don't think Phil should be fired. What? This can't happen again.
No. And I'm excited for Starfield, and I want to say that I'm not worried about it, but at the same time,
you're not worried. Redfall is the biggest reason you should be worried for Starfield.
Well, and the thing about Starfield, I was already worried about it with Fallout 76 being in the same vein as that, because, like, of course, you know, this company Bethesda went from doing Fallout 4 to Fallout 76, which was completely trash. And I played it later. It was, you know, it got better when they, you know, added NPCs.
When it had more time to cook.
Right. So I'm a little worried about Starfield just because that's been delayed so many times, almost as much as Redfield has. And then we saw what Redfield turned into. So.
The game is Redfall, sir, not Landfield, as you called it twice. I know you say Redfield, but Landfield sounds much better.
Landfield?
That's where it's going to end up, like E.T.
Good old E.T. and Superman just joining. They just like, hey, come on in, buddy.
Bro, okay. So I wrote in. I listen to a podcast every week. Other than you guys, I know. I'm sorry. It's a video game show called N4G, and I wrote in on their podcast. Actually, they changed the name. It's ZTGD Radio. But anyway, I wrote in on their show last week, and I said, I actually bought Superman 64 over Super Smash Brothers when they came out around the same time, and I was like, I want to play Superman. And so I bought the worst game ever, Superman 64, over one of the best games ever, Smash Brothers. And so I went to GameStop to trade in Superman 64, and they were going to give me $25 for that game. And I was like, I just bought it. I just got it. This game was $60. And so they're like, hey, man, that's the best I can do. So it was a dude behind me who was trading in Smash Brothers that day, and he was only going to get $25. And I was like, hey, man, if you give me that game, I'll give you this game. You can trade it in and get the same amount of credit. He said, all right. And that's how I got Smash Brothers.
The hookup right there. See, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. Because that reminds me of the Marvel Nemesis time. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Hey man, don't trade in for this much.
Yep, that game was terrible. But speaking of terrible games, Redfall, Landfill, it worked. It did work. It just looked terrible, and I feel like this is what people have been waiting on. Like if you remember, at the end of one of the E3s, they announced this as the final game. They were like, "Hey, check out this next game. It's gonna be a killer."
That was also kind of the sign of the end of E3. Like when Redfall was like, because even then I was like, all right, that's cool. That's all y'all got.
It looked good because we all thought it was a Left 4 Dead game, and we were like, all right, let's do vampires. Right. I like vampires.
I kill a few vampires.
Yeah.
No. My other beef when I was playing it, and this is just like a little bit like it's just I know how Arcane is. So Arcane Studios, they're all about making you feel like you're being stalked or you're a stalker, like with Dishonored, Deathloop, and so they have that kind of suspense feeling that you never know what's around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But in Redfall / Landfill, you can't really do that when you have 4 people and you just cruise in the neighborhood and nothing's happening. You're just like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
No, all right.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're right. When I first played it, I was streaming it with you because I had downloaded it and then I erased it because I saw the reviews. And then when I see you play it, I was like, why the hell is Rockman playing this game? And I jumped in and I was like, hey, man, I'll check it out with you. And I was like, man, these graphics are terrible. Maybe I should download it. And I downloaded it and I got in. The graphics look a little bit better. I can't say. The controls were terrible. It was very floaty. I had to change the sensitivity down just a little bit to make it more controllable for me. I'm an old man, so who knows? But it's just bland. Like the graphics don't do it. And if the graphics ain't gonna do it, you need story to lean on. And the story in this shit is paper thin.
Like you just don't care. And another thing they tried to do, right? Another thing they tried to do, which I reckon, I commend them on this, is they try to make some story unfold like as you play together as a team.
Like, just like every other game? Yeah.
Yeah. But
you commending them for doing the bullshit that every other game does by telling the story in the freaking game? I'm sorry, X Defense Force. Yeah, they really do tell you a great story while you're playing the game and you get to develop it with your friends.
So they did this thing to where it's like, the more trust you build between, because after you got off,
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's great.
Played, and it was just like, shout out to him, shout out to Tag. You build more of a trust, and like you get trust bonuses, but also they start to talk to one another, which is kind of cool. But it's just not enough because like you're telling the story through like, all right, cool, like here's still images. So it's like if we were doing a show. And I'm talking like this, and I'm like, that doesn't even work for Prey. Like, even in Prey, when y'all did Prey was it was like Half-Life. Everything happened. No,
you don't even have to compare it to Prey. That didn't, Xbox games didn't do that. Xbox original didn't do that. So now you got to look at it like, well, what happened? Why is this okay? You tend to say, okay, the pandemic, that's justified, but why couldn't you just have this shipped out to somebody else, or maybe you can do this in a different way? Maybe get live action people to do it. I mean, Chat GPT, come up with something better than still images. Like this is unexcusable from one of the most. Microsoft has way too much money for this to be the output. Yeah. It looks cheap. It looks terrible. And for this to be their first $70 game, you gotta suck my. Yeah.
That was for that. Like that can't. And and we said that on the show. We've said that plenty of times. You've said that when we talk in chats. If you want $70 from us, they gotta be $70 games. Like you can't give me a Xbox presentation like from original Xbox, and this is $70. You know what I'm saying? Like original Xbox games are $49, and this game's not even close to either one of those. You know what I'm saying?
I would play Black over Redfall.
Oh God, Black. Oh my God, killer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even sad to say, like, and they're two different games, but even Def Jam Fight for New York had a better presentation than this.
Yeah.
And, that's a classic. I mean, it's a banger, but it's about hood dudes pulling superpower moves. So, I mean, you got this epic story, and,
the premise is good. Yeah, the premise is good. I like the vampires, but then I didn't like the art direction. And I don't like that the story was being told through picture books and flashes images. It's like that just makes me feel like you cheapened out. And then you're gonna price gouge me for this game. Like maybe it's the best thing that Game Pass exists because everybody could try the game out and be like, yo, this isn't cool. But I don't like the discourse on YouTube right now and on Twitter. It's like Xbox is doomed because this one game was terrible when the majority of their games have been great. Now, has it been a lot of games? No. It's not. The Xbox One had better games for the first couple of years than the Xbox Series does. But the Xbox One didn't have a pandemic. And that's not an excuse, but that's realistic. You got to look at why all these other studios struggling to put content out. When they've been doing this for forever, they already got this stuff set up. So what's the issue? Where's the problem? This is honestly one of the best reasons for the upgrade to Unreal Engine 5 because it's supposed to cut back on development costs. It's supposed to take all that time and effort out of rendering things and developing images and creatures and terrains and all that. It's just got an image or a render you can just pick from the shop and throw it into the engine and just the physics are already there. You don't have to change it. You got the shaders that's there. It's not going to tax your system as hard. Like the engine is already developed and all you got to do is just develop your game. Well, isn't Star Wars built on Unreal Engine 5? The latest Star Wars?
I want to say it is, yes.
So why does it have issues? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure in another year from now, that game is going to be perfect. But why is it released now? And why does it have issues? Who's saying that these games are ready to go?
So that's definitely the execs out there who are just like, yo, we're trying to make this quarter. We're trying to, because that's what's happening at Square Enix right now. Square Enix, that's what's fucked them up so bad with Forsaken and all the rest of them, is that they're trying to play the quarters game, and it's like, all right, but like you were saying, if you just give these games enough time, you just actually give your core audience what they want. Like, for example, Star Ocean Divine Force came out, which is a really good RPG, but Square Enix didn't even try to, advertise it. Nobody knew about it unless you were just deep in the RPG world like I am. Same thing with Valkyrie Profile. Same thing with that. Great RPG series, but they didn't advertise it because they put all their eggs in the basket for Forsaken because, as we talked about earlier, it checked off all the boxes and they thought for sure it was just going to sell. And I think it's the executives' fault there about hey, get it out, producers and executives for the company quarterly stuff. Hey, get them out. We just want to get something for the quarter. And that's really tough because for example, they put all their eggs in baskets for Redfall, right? Because Redfall is the only thing on the docket for this quarter. And now the only other thing you got is Starfield. And after that, you got the holiday quarter, and nobody cares about that. But, that's what I'm saying. They're so busy trying to get it out in certain quarters and get this fiscal thing. They're kind of just all right, it needs to be pushed back. And I get it. Sometimes you don't have a choice. You got to have something on the docket. But I think it's too much of the executives in the pockets and in everybody's ears to just, hey, get this done.
I would agree. Now, this is Xbox Defense Force. What if Redfall had a hit? Can you imagine the year coming off of 2022 where they had literally nothing but Pentiment? And then they come out with Hi-Fi Rush and then Redfall. If Redfall had a hit, the momentum that Microsoft has going into the summer, June showcase, the E3 replacement, would have been tremendous. And now everybody's looking at E3 replacement like, I don't know, but now they got to perform or either we're done with this company.
Yeah, and that's what sucks about Redfall falling. One guy said it best in the interview with Phil Spencer. He was just like, what people don't understand is that you never want anything like this to fail. Even if you are a Sony fanboy or whatever, because the more these companies see that something new fails, the more they'll be like, all right, we're going to play it safe. Go back to another sequel. Go back to this, which is absolutely, I've always said that. It's absolutely True. And it makes me mad because there is, like you said, there is a good premise there, and there's a lot that could have been. And like you said, if that would have been strong, because that would have been Half-Hour Rush, Redfall, and then Starfield. Because like if Starfield
and then Forza, you can't forget about Forza.
And then Forza, right? Which is always going to hit. But you know, if all those would have hit, you know what I'm saying, it would have been like, all right, cool. Xbox is coming out, and they're coming out and
banger after banger after banger after banger.
And they got something for everybody finally, because Starfield would have been, hey, this is
RPG.
the RPG scratch that you know, or itch that you need to scratch. So it's just really tough, man, because now it puts more scrutiny, like you said, on them, and everybody's gonna go back to like, okay, well, damn, Fallout 76, because that's one boy. Shout out to Jess. That's what he was saying when he played Redfall. He's like, it's giving me Fallout 76 vibes. He's like, it's terrible now, but I think after they work on it, it'll be fine. They'll fix it. He's like,
and that's what I'm saying. They needed more time to put it out, but now is the problem where you bought all these studios and you don't have games coming out. What is the problem? Yeah, and everybody's saying this is mismanagement. And everybody's saying, well, what's happening? Well, clearly, Phil Spencer doesn't know how to run Xbox, and we need to fire this guy. And so now you got the hashtag fire Phil Spencer.
Phil Spencer, right?
How do you feel about that? Do you think Phil Spencer deserves to get fired? Because look at this is Xbox. Xbox hasn't improved since the 360 days. It has gotten worse since then. So has Phil Spencer failed the Xbox?
So I don't think he has. And to me, I feel like Phil Spencer, in terms of like when you talk figureheads, I feel like he is the Barack Obama of the Microsoft era, because he's coming in after the guy that totally fucked them over with the whole, hey, use games, get over it thing. Like, oh, use games, get over it. We don't do use games, get over it. That was just detrimental to the Xbox name. And so when you have Phil Spencer coming in, he's more of a guy that's like, no, I like all the other systems. There is no console war. Let's be honest. There's this, is that. We're going to try hard.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic too. He's trying to fix all the problems that Microsoft's had in the past.
I think he has fixed a lot of those problems. Again, Xbox Defense Force. It's the perception again. The used games. If you walk into a GameStop right now, there's a used game wall, just like there is on PlayStation. People can still play used games. You can play backwards compatible games. If you have an ecosystem, or if you bought into the Microsoft ecosystem on the Xbox One, a lot of those games still carry over to the series system. So it's not really an issue in that situation, but the perception is still there that people are like, Microsoft is trying to control what you can do with this DRM.
Exactly.
Even though Sony had the same DRM in their system, and they quietly took that shit. They was like, we don't do that. They was like, this is how you play used games. Here you go, friend, play that. And as they deleted all their DRM.
Listen, smoothest play ever. Smooth.
Hey, you can't get mad at them. You can't get. Hey, Sony has been an assassin since they came in. You see what they did to Sega?
R.I.P. the Dreamcast. Go.
Nah, they don't need to rest in peace. You talking about people still buying Dreamcast, and they was like, y'all, bro, we done. We done.
Man, if they made a Dreamcast 2 tomorrow, bro, I buy it. I miss it so much. Oh.
All right, Xbox Defense Force. What if they bought Sega and they used the Sega branding to put out a new Xbox system and called it the Dreamcast 2?
Oh, now you think, dude, still buy it.
But it's just a Xbox with a Dreamcast sticker on it.
Give me a Phantasy Star exclusive game to that. Give me Jet Set Radio, and you got me. Because that's all I really want.
That's all you want.
That's it. That's all I want, baby. You get those two. Because you remember how excited I was when Phantasy Star New Genesis was coming? I was like, let's go. Y'all just like,
you know what you used to say on this podcast, which I'm kind of concerned about you not saying that anymore, is you wanted new games. And now you would buy a whole new system for same old games that you played before.
Still want new games, but I also want the good old games. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know how you can please this community.
Farms days, man. I want the Pepperidge Farms days.
The member berries only last so long, man. They getting staled.
This is true. This is true. I think with Microsoft, I think the connect between.
Oh yeah, don't say nothing about Connect, bro. Them days is over with.
Gone. I'm so glad they retcon that. They act like that shit.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Connect what? You connect to the internet with the Ethernet cable. Yeah, we had broadband back in the day.
Well, that shit in the trash.
Right.
I think the disconnect and the reconnect they need with their fan base is just to get them. Because I don't even think all of them are really upset. Like you said, I think it's more so the Sony fanboys just lording it, like, ha. We got Last of Us. We got this.
It is the schoolyard bragging rights. It's like, look what my system got. Well, your system don't have nothing. You got 30 frames per second on your games. And
with 30 frames, I don't. The frame thing, it's been that way forever. They're not 60 frames per second is so hard to keep up. It's not gonna happen. Like even with these new
no.
It's not gonna happen.
The problem is that the minimum spec PCs can hit 60 frames at the minimum at a lower resolution than the resolution that they're trying to push out on these systems. What it is these systems either are not strong enough or they're trying to crank them up at too high of a resolution that is cutting into, the virtual memory. What they can do is lower the resolution and increase the frames per second, and that should fix a lot of this issue. But for some reason, they want these games to run natively at 4K, when I think we'll be okay with a 1080p image or a 1440p image and upscale it, up-res, checkerboard. What happened to checkerboarding?
That's gone. You might as well just...
Nah, I mean, the newer games are going to use that even more. It's just they have better technology to make it. I mean, that's what DLS is. It's a version of checkerboarding, but it's anyway. I lost my train of thought.
So here's my next question for you on that.
Right.
What can they do? Because I think with their fan base, as long as they're like, hey, we're gonna work on like getting some stuff.
I'm sorry. We're sorry.
Just do that. Put a whole bunch more games on Game. But I think if they let them know, hey, Game Pass is here to stay, which they're pretty much doing.
It's the market.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people are confused by Game Pass. They made $1 billion last quarter. Like it's
only, and the impressive thing is only 15% of the revenue. Is very impressive. But yeah, like I don't know. Like, what do you feel like as Xbox Defense Force? What can they do to ensure you like, hey man, we still fucks with you? I promise on everything. I got you.
I think what they're gonna have
yellow tops.
What they're gonna have to do. And with this June showcase is show games, even if the games are not ready, to get the perspective and the hype back on their side. Is like, look, this is why we've been buying all these studios. We got games coming. Maybe they're not happening right now because when they lied to us last year, they was like, in 12 months, all these games gonna be out, and they delayed every one of them. Maybe they shouldn't do that, but they should at least say, hey, these are the games that we're working on. Your investment into this system is going to mean something in a couple years. You're going to be able to play all of these games and they're going to run smooth on your Series X. And if you want something better, we got the PC's version that you can play with the same single purchase. Or if you're on the go, like I am in the hotel room, you can play those same games on your tablet, on your phone, on your TV with Game Pass. All of these games can be had for a single price of $14.99. The competition over there, they're asking $70 a pop for every single game. We just want $14 a month and you get to have a buffet of games. See how easy that is? Now you back on my corner. You like, hey, baby, I kind of like all this Game Pass stuff.
So the yellow tops for GameStop on that. Look, man. Look,
hey, what?
$14.99 play. Look at all these benefits. We got
you. Yeah, man, how much is a Whopper right now? You know what I'm saying?
How much is a combo right now?
How much is a combo? And you got to get it extra for super size. Bitch, we got it all. We got a value menu too. If you only got an Xbox, you can just play these games right there. You ain't got to pay $14.99. That's just if you want to do it on your phone and your tablet. If you just got the system, baby, I got you.
I got you that too, baby.
Right.
All day.
Straight. Mm-hmm.
So
the only thing they can do is release games. The only way you can combat this bad PR that you have is to put out content. And I know it takes about 4 years for games to be developed. We're right at that mark. But then you got to add on an extra year because of COVID. So maybe they need another year before things are smooth out. But does Xbox have another year? Yes. They've been in last place since the shit came out. For all these people sitting here saying Xbox is doomed, Xbox is done, Xbox is over with. Where have you been for the last 20 years? Xbox had the red ring of death. Xbox had the Xbox original when nobody was fucking with it.
My God, if they can survive the red ring of death, they can survive.
They got a great system. My system is right here. I don't know if you can see it. There it is on the side of my TV.
I see the fridge.
They have the mini fridge. They have a great system. They have a great lineup coming, maybe, possibly. And then they have a great service of content. I think they just need time. And do they have time in the mind of an average gamer? No.
But these new gamers and these new people now, they be doom scrolling every day. Like, oh, this is why this is going down. Oh, they're canceled. Oh, they're doomed. Because they've been saying that shit about Nintendo for the longest.
And what does Nintendo do? Nintendo is over there having fun in their own lane, straight caking. Friday, Nintendo's finna just jizz on the whole gaming industry, saying, "Suck my dick." You know you want my games even more now.
Listen, my body is ready. Let's go. Let's go, bro. And I think that's right.
Wait, do you have that game pre-ordered?
Yeah, I got the game pre-ordered. Yes.
When you got to pre-order that?
The one at Patton Creek.
Oh, you still shop at them? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
People's at. Yeah.
Oh, for real? You got peoples?
I got peoples over there, man.
All right, shout out to the peoples.
Shout out to the peeps.
I don't shop at that place. I did go in there. I bought my Series X, my Xbox One X from Patton Creek.
Oh, nice. I saw they had because I went in there actually. Was that yesterday? Yeah, Sunday was yesterday. Yeah. Well, I went in there and I saw that's when I reserved my game, and I saw
you get in there.
Well, my girlfriend.
Oh, okay. You took that Martin Luther King thing to heart.
I ain't got no car. I woke up at
I ain't gonna put out there.
Look, woke up at 6 a.m. yesterday, and I was like, I'm walking to Patton Creek.
Hey, man. You get them hard bottoms on and start walking and singing Negro spirituals. I respect you. This man deserved that game. Link at last. Thank God Almighty, it's Link at last.
Nintendo one more time, brother. But yeah, no, and even saying about Microsoft, because like you said, not only do people are like, oh my God, Microsoft's over, but people don't understand Microsoft as a company has war chests just like Nintendo. Mm-hmm. Sony's the only one that may not have a war chest just because they're we cut off from the rest of Sony. But Microsoft has
Sony is the war chest. I mean, PlayStation is the war chest for Sony. Sony's movies have been down. Sony Walkman is done. The phones have been. The only thing that's keeping that company afloat is their TVs and the PlayStation division.
That's true. So yeah, dude, I don't understand that with Microsoft because I'm Microsoft has plenty of money. They don't.
But it's not just money.
They're not going to keep doing things that don't make the money, of course.
It's not money. The money's there. They got a revenue stream coming with Game Pass. You can develop a game with $1 billion. There should be at least one decent game coming out of all of that, right? But for some reason, their highest rated games are not highest rated, but their high profile games like Halo have been shaky. I said 343 needed to be fired a long time ago when the Master Chief Collection came out and that shit was released broken.
Hey, did you see if they did actually get rid of
Yes, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Not all firings are bad. Sometimes some people need to go. When the product has continued to dwindle down, Halo Reach is probably the last great Halo. Halo Infinite was good, but it wasn't great. And it didn't have a lot of the staples that Halo games deserve to have. No co-op. No. Limited online.
That's day one. What you doing?
That's Halo. That's a staple.
Halo, yeah. I can play the original Halo on regular Xbox right now. Me and you can play it.
You can play it on the Series X right now, remastered, high frame, and all this good stuff. but it took time for them to develop that game. And that's something that should not have happened. So those people needed to go. They got fired. Goodbye. And I think that's going to happen with a lot more of the studios that's going on. They need to know. Microsoft has been rated the number one company to work for years, but you need to know that your job is in jeopardy if this product fails.
Yeah, they do need to go in and cut the fat. Because again, like
we can treat you like the Zoom, baby. Like the Xbox can be the next Zoom out here. And hey,
no, come on, man, don't do that.
What?
Don't do that.
Don't do what?
Zoom came and went, baby.
Don't do what? My name's Phil Spencer, and I spell it with a PH, but I can change that shit to Fire Spencer and fire your ass. Xbox Defense Force on your ass, boy.
We need Phil Spencer to go in like Gordon Ramsay. This game sucks so hard. I can clean my living room with this shit right now.
He need to do it. Go in there to Redfall, be like, boy, look at these cutscenes. What?
Oh, 1995 Nintendo looking ass boy.
Even on the 64 had actual moving cutscenes, boy. Get this man.
This nigga
PlayStation 1 had moving cutscenes. FMVs. What the hell? Bitch, I got the Tower of Power, and you gonna give me this? This? Hey man, I need all them checks. I need all them checks back. All this shit. Man, if you don't pack your shit and get the fuck out of my face.
Drop your badge, get your shit and go. Get the fuck out.
Let the door hit you on the way out.
It'd be like on Wolf of Wall Street. You just do it after the Xbox showcase. You gonna do this on showcase day? Get the fuck out.
You know what I'm saying? We hyped your shit up, and this is the best you got? I'm firing everybody. But no, I don't think Arcane deserves to get fired. But they need to know that, hey, you don't have the right to just work here. Like, this is a privilege and an honor.
Listen, and I think he needs to do that ASAP because he needs to do what EA didn't do with BioWare and fucked all us up. You know what I'm saying? Because look what, because BioWare, they're like, oh, they just produce Magic. They're fine. We can be hands off.
Speaking of BioWare, when you gonna start back playing? You was playing Redfall or Landfall this week, but you ain't playing Andromeda.
Listen,
so
I haven't played Mass Effect Andromeda.
You have been playing it?
Yes, I have been playing.
What was the last mission you did on there? Don't lie to me. No. Don't lie. Don't lie, because I catch you in it.
I'm tired of all the slander, but no,
there ain't no slander. It's the truth.
I just got Jaw from the that weird planet.
Yeah,
I just got Jaw from Ava. So now,
how did you meet Jaw?
You go in and like you want to meet the people, but they're like, we can't let you in because y'all are aliens to us.
Okay,
like, all right. Hey,
I'm just making sure you ain't just watching it on YouTube, right? Okay.
I said I was gonna do it, even though CDub ain't shit, because he wasn't gonna do that shit originally. Then he's just like,
be a man of your word, man.
Oh, stop. Anyway, I'm gonna finish the shit. I've been playing.
All right, do it.
It's not as good as the first three, but
yeah, we know that. Ain't nobody say it was. It's just not as bad as Redfall. And to book in the conversation of Redfall is time is needed, but we don't have time, and you have too much riding on the line to let this be the product that you put out. So you should have delayed the game.
Wait, now let me ask you this: now, as an Xbox Defense Force, about what time are y'all gonna be like, all right, y'all have this time to respond with some games?
Oh, that was 2020 when they didn't have shit. That's why people are on edge right now. Like, people were saying fire. They were saying Fire Field back in 2020. This is 2023, and he's still there, and the problems are still persisting. So if it ain't Phil Spencer, who is it, and why is it still going on? 343 is finally having changes. We're happy about that. They had a Halo TV show where the dude was taking his helmet off. That ain't never been Master Chief. So if you don't understand the character to make a TV show, you damn sure don't understand the character to make a game.
That show doesn't exist. Don't talk about that shit. That shit is trash.
Bokeem Woodbine was in there lifting it up by himself, man, saving that whole show.
His back has got me tired.
Man, I was like, wow. If he was like a game about Bokeem, I would probably play it. But Master Chief, and to be honest with you, Master Chief in the books is cool. It's got a great story, but in the game, I don't know what's going on.
You know what the problem is? Because they kept going in and out of like, okay, this is gonna be like strictly in the game verse, and then the next game would be like, well, if you read this book, you'd understand why we're over here. And it's
Would
just
you
like,
reboot Halo?
absolutely, yes,
Mm,
yes.
yeah, I think so too. But what
It's
would make it stand out amongst the crowd of first-person shooters today?
do something different. Do
Like what?
something. Do something different and institute what made Halo great before.
Vehicle combat?
Yeah, vehicle combat.
It'd have to be big team battles, like a Battlefield type game.
Add some of the newer things. Don't not the battle royale shit. Leave that alone. But just like
I think that game type is dying.
I hope it does. Trust me. I'm so ready for it to die. So ready. Because if one more like we a battle royale game come out, man, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do.
Oh, it will.
I know. I'm so tired of them. But yeah, I think they add some old elements and some of the stuff that worked for Halo, and then just spawn something new. And then you know what? Go outside first-person shooters. Start making squad shooters. You know what I'm saying?
I think a squad shooter would be good.
Squad shooters would be good. Give me something like Wildlands. Give me something like that, or Division. You know what I'm saying? To where like, you have different skills, and just don't be so looter shootery. But like, give me that open world RPG shooter type thing to it. And go from there. Like, play with it. Do RPGs with it. Like, excuse me. The problem with Halo is a whole universe, and they still just want to take one pathway, which is a first-person shooter. When you can do so many things.
People are connected with Chief. Chief has a great story, and the story of Katana is interesting. It's just the games recently have diminished in quality, and it's just like, where we going with this?
Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have other Spartans. This program's still going. The fight is still apparently going. Do some other shit. You know what I'm saying? Talk about some of the humans that are left. Shit. Like, some of them still,
Yeah. I think a Gears would be a really good game. And it's rumored that they have a Gears collection coming out. And so hopefully we might see that soon. Hellblade looks interesting. I'm Outer Worlds 2. That looks interesting. I want to see that happening. Avowed, that's cool because it's in the Pillars of Eternity universe. I mean,
it's basically going to be Elder Scrolls,
and that's what I'm worried about. They got so many games in that same vein. It's just like, what's going to make these games stand apart? So I don't know. I don't think they should fire Phil Spencer, but God dang it. You got everything riding on this, and everything is in your favor, but somehow you keep dropping the ball.
And I agree with you on that because, like I said, he understands things, and he's trying. You can see that he's trying, but I agree. Yeah, it's just like when because that's what I've been saying for the longest. When these games come out, because like that, like you said, 360 to me. That was like their PS2 days, where like you remember the PS2. There were so many games on PS2. A game came out every single day as long as the PS2 was out. Like when the system dropped, there was a game every single day. That's how many PS2 games came out. 360 was the same way. As soon as 360 dropped, after that initial little week of like, okay, King Kong, what was it? King Kong, Project Gotham, Madden 06, whatever. But after they got into their groove, there was a 360 game coming out every single day. You couldn't keep up with it. And it was just such a wide variety.
And like I said, like not making excuses, but the pandemic did knock off everybody's timetable for when these games going to happen.
Right.
But something should have been in development before the pandemic. And it just seems like they've been dropping the ball ever since. So you got the studios, you got the talent. Like you got Bethesda. That's one of the greatest studios out there, publishers out there of games. You should not have games of Redfall's quality coming out when you have everything right there. It's just like, why you got all the pieces to the puzzle, but you still not putting them in the right slots? It's still not working. Exactly. We're not getting the big picture because your puzzle pieces are not fit. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think Xbox is going to go anywhere because this has been Xbox since day one. Right. But it does look weird when you start looking at them a little bit closer. You're like, hey, guys, what are you doing? I bought this system, and I'm not getting my money's worth right now.
Yeah, because that's what a lot of people are saying. That's what Phil Spencer was the most hurt on is that, when people say they regret buying an Xbox or I should have went with the PS5 and then get the Xbox later or something like that. Overall, now though, like, how do you feel? Do you feel that way, or do you feel
I don't, because I'm a gamer. I find like this is I was telling my brother this. Mm-hmm. One of the things about being an Xbox gamer is we never had the big budget games. Like, we had Halo, we had all these other things, but we made other games great, like Rainbow Six Vegas, like just like Crimson Skies, like, well, I guess that's exclusive. But MechAssault came out. That was the thing that launched Xbox Live, but it wasn't this deep game. It was about the experiences that you're having online. Mm-hmm. And so as an Xbox gamer, I love going through the actual store and finding a AA or some unknown game that I've never heard of, that I've seen, and it looks cool. And I usually throw it on my wish list, and when it goes on sale, I buy it and I play it. I play a lot of random ass shit on my Xbox because I am a gamer. I'm not a AAA only gamer. I play whatever is cool.
Indie games, all that, because indie games are saving the whole industry right now. Man, if it wasn't for them, whew,
that's why I had that list of games that came out broken. Like, Redfall is not alone in this. It's something going on industry wide, but I think the system is gonna be okay. Xbox will rise again.
Rise again.
I'm from Alabama, so
Terrible.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in closing, man.
Last thing. Mm-hmm. The quote that everybody's been taking when Phil Spencer says that Xbox is not competing with the other consoles out there. They said that, hey, if we just make great games, it doesn't mean that other the people who own PlayStations are going to trade in their systems and buy Xboxes. That quote was taken out of context. What he was saying was they lost the most important generation, which was the Xbox One generation versus PlayStation 4. When they lost that, people set the ecosystems that they were going to buy and play for, and so since people have already decided what system they're going to buy most of their games on, and since those games now carry over to the next generation, it's a harder sell for people to be like, hey, this one game over here on this system looks cool. Maybe I should also buy an Xbox or trade in my PlayStation to only play Xbox games. He was like, that's just not going to happen.
Right. I mean,
we make our games more accessible through Game Pass, so now you can play it on everything. We're probably never going to catch up with PlayStation and Nintendo. So, as Phil Spencer said years ago, my competition isn't Sony. My competition isn't PlayStation. My competition is Google and Amazon. And they're trying to gear up to fight those large battles like that. But they're getting their asses kicked by PlayStation and Sony. Nintendo.
Right.
So that's all. I mean, I'm an Xbox guy, I guess. I don't think I am, but I just wanted to be that person today because of the discourse that's happening. But I'm a PC and Xbox console gamer because I enjoy those types of games. And I'm still happy with my system because they come out with the games that I want to play. But it should be a lot better because they have all the resources, they have all the time and the talent, and they're still putting out subpar quality games.
Well, I just was, me, like I play everything.
Yep.
Mostly Nintendo fan because I love Nintendo. That's what I started with. But I do love everything, and I love everything that has a place. So I need this competition because this is the only way Nintendo doesn't get lazy. This is the only way Sony doesn't get lazy. This is the only way Microsoft doesn't get lazy. And I love it when they're hungry and they're trying to fight for it because that only means we're gonna get great games. I'm just gonna say I still stand by. If they ever want to holler at your boy for RPGs, classic RPGs, Red Dreams Interactive is here, baby. But no, I agree with you. Like I want them to still survive. I don't want Microsoft to go anywhere. I don't want Sony to go anywhere. I definitely don't want Nintendo to go anywhere because I want all three. Because that's just like when Sega left, I was like, oh man, because some of the most classic, some of the most classic industry fights for like competition was between Nintendo and Sega, especially when Sega went so teenage to where even Nintendo's like, all right, we got to do this whole play it loud
Yeah.
shit. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
they brought out like, oh, okay, we're cool now. And I'm like, what? You know, they were doing this stupid shit.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Country and we got Killer Instinct now. And
yeah.
You know, so you want that competition. You want that thriving to happen, because if it's not happening, then you know.
And best believe Sony has gotten better because Microsoft exists. Like the PlayStation Network, when it first happened, it was trash. And then now they came up with a rival for Game Pass for Xbox Live.
Even that, remember the PlayStation 3 debacle with the network? Remember that shit? People were like, this is the end of Sony. Like when PlayStation 3's network got hacked and nobody could access it for almost 3 months. And they're
that was
what are y'all gonna do? You know?
Yeah. If Xbox had a generation to win, it should have been the 360. They lost in the end to Sony because they got their shit together.
Yeah.
Maybe Microsoft can do it. I doubt it. Even Phil Spencer said, hey man, this isn't the fight we're trying to fight. But what they should do is produce the most quality games that they can. And that's what they can control. And once they control that and bring that bar up, which honestly it's high. It's just we've had 2 recent, games that come out that have been subpar, which is Redfall and Halo.
Mm-hmm.
If they can raise that bar, you will see the industry start changing a little bit more. Because I don't know about you, the news media is focused on Xbox. Like that seems to be the only gaming system that is having interesting things happening right now. People seem more interested in Xbox while they play their Nintendos and Sony. They're over there looking at Xbox like, what they doing over there?
Right.
That's kind of interesting.
Right.
But then they keep going, so they got the eye. I think they're doing the right thing with Game Pass because in these trying times, people have less and less money, but you still want to have entertainment. It costs too much money to go to the movies, but $9, I can play all these games. Come on, man. Sign me up.
Right.
Sign me up.
For a system I've had for like 5-6 years now, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And you can still stream those games on your old Xbox. Isn't that amazing?
That's crazy.
So, yeah. I don't know. Xbox Defense Force is saying, stay in the fight. We're going to keep fighting and we're going to see what happens from there. But Sony is looking to ruin Xbox. I mean, as you can see what they did with the ABK deal, and they're going to come out with their game showcase hopefully this month. Because people are questioning Sony. They're like, hey, man, what y'all got for me? So
yeah, no, and they wouldn't post their other showcase because the lawsuit. They're like, no, we're really trying to like stop them.
Yeah.
We don't have anything. Oh no, because we don't have Call of Duty, which is bullshit. I'm like, all right, y'all, chill out.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we already know Sony fights dirty. They fight right, but that's why they still here.
That's true too.
So
claw and scratch, baby.
Yeah. But this has been fun, man. I'm glad we had this conversation. Hopefully, I put a little, I doused some water on these fires that Xbox has. I mean, it's a sinking ship, but it might be a submarine at the same time.
That's true. Or the bat sub, it turns into a ship.
That too. Yeah.
Hey, so, well, of course, Mr. Shogun, I thank you for coming on. We
yes,
really
sir.
Having you. And of course, you guys can watch.
You can check me out on the Gubmint Name Podcast. That's GUBMINTNAME. I ain't talking about gaming on there. I'm talking about all types of things. This week, we're going to ask the question, I wonder how Usher doing.
Chris Brown beat a singing Usher. Man, dude, before you go, I really wish Boondocks still around. Can you imagine the field day?
You don't need a cartoon. Just look at TV. Look at the news. It's better than anything Boondocks could have written. That's why the writers are striking. Reality is better than what they can write.
We can't keep up with this shit. This is bullshit.
We have a corpse as the president. And then we have a carrot trying to run against him.
True,
this shit is amazing.
And in the middle of all this, Kanye West, who still thinks he's going to run for president.
He's going to do it too. It gets better. And then we're on the verge of World War III. Oh, come on, man. I cannot wait for the sequel of this. Yeah.
We're the enemies. We're not the
enemies.
We're not the allies. We the Axis.
Yeah, man. Reality TV going to be CNN and Fox News when you see this shit start popping off. You ain't going to need no writers. Anyway, check me out on my podcast. Subscribe. It's great.
And also, guys, you can check us out everywhere. The Nerd Plate. Of course, check out our Patreon. Check out our coffee if you're so inclined. But also, of course, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those lovely places. We're there. YouTube, you can see us there too. Thank you so much again, Mr. Shogun. Until next time, I'm Rockman3K3.
And I'm Shogun. And hopefully Chris is having a good night being a daddy because he's somebody's father. I said his name. I'm sorry. His name.
CDub. It's all good.
It's cool. Yeah. All them names. He's somebody's father, man.
He out here.
Y'all better put some respect on that man's name. He a father out here.
Yeah. Until next time, guys. We'll see you later.
Peace.
We out.